Hey everybody, this is Preston Poulter here with Pocket Jacks Comics. Here a little early today. I was just sitting in my chair. We're gonna have the shitty webcomics brothers, whom Cecil recently called as like completely deranged because of their suggestion of an attack on Tug's daughter, which actually never happened. But I found it was strange. Like it happened like just after Cecil and Ethan ran down the Daddy Can't Rape Us All and talked about what good times those were. And then we're like, oh yeah, and the shitty webcomics guys. Those guys are completely deranged, and Doug hangs out with them. I'm like, that's just, the special abilities of Comicsgate is they can edgelord and pearl clutch all at the same time. But yeah, they're gonna be on here in a few minutes. Hey, what's up, Lorenzo? How are you? Have you been watching all that stuff I've been putting up on Twitter? Because there's been, I mean, like, I'm beginning to dread like sitting down to write last week in Comicsgate. I'm like, I have so much to go through. I'm like, I have material for like 3 shows, and I don't. I probably just have to put out 3 shows. I'm thinking of just doing like Stir Crazy Part 1, 2, and 3, because oh my God, this stuff is uh, it's crazy. Um, have you been did have you been watching any of that Life with Liam, the mommy beater stream? Let's see. Sito the Younger. Caesar will fall. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like we kind of have some historical precedents on this. Yeah. Uh, let's see if we can. I was oh, and furthermore, Comicsgate should be destroyed. I mean, yes, I can agree with you there. It's Ethan. He uses it as his alter ego, kind of a. He refers to himself in the third party as Comicsgate, and I gotta believe some of the money flowing into his campaign is real. So Ethan will continue to be saying "Hail Comicsgate," um, but how many people are going to follow and use the hashtag? I mean, that one is interesting, and that's really what I'm looking at, and I'm having conversations with people on Twitter. Some on the CG side, and it's all about like, well, what's in it for the smaller creator? And in looking at the debates between John Malin over the like tweet with Roe, a lot of it came down to like what's in for the smaller creator. And I just shared this video to Twitter where Sketch apparently donated like his final $72 to Ethan in a super chat. So, hail Caesar. But is was Sketch Therapy was like, these critics are gonna come on and platform, and they're gonna sell a bunch of books that they're not gonna fulfill. So Sketch Therapy's kind of awarded himself grifter duty. So where's your stellar lineup? Well, I started a little early, but they told me they should be here. So if they don't come here, well then I got what's I have a tiny little dog here. Hello, tiny little dog. Do you want to be on camera? Do you want to be on camera? Hello. Hold on. I'm gonna show tiny little dog. Tiny little decrepit 16-year-old pug. There we go. I will pet you as I plot taking over the world. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There we go. Tiny pug. This is good for viewership right here. We have tiny puckage. So Mecca, you're welcome to come on. By the way, yeah. Here I will post the link. Oh, come to think of it, maybe that's why they're not here. I forgot to post the link in the in the Discord. So hold on, let me do that real quick. Invite. Copy. Boom. And then yeah, I knew I was forgetting something when I was going about my daily routine today. And then we go to Discord. There we go. Okay, cool. Boy, now that I'm live streaming, like it's its own thing. Some people are good at it. It's a skill. I guess I'll have to get used to it. But I do miss scripted videos where I can just sit there and get the perfect message, make sure it's clean, and then just send it out. I'll try and I Well, I mean, those two are the only two presenting pages, so yeah, it should be pretty short. It should be like an hour or less. So yeah, come on down. And I did update the link, so it's now unlimited to the Discord in both time as well as number of parties. I don't know why Discord limits it like that, but yeah, that link in the description to the writers Discord should work. And there is a link in the writers Discord for people who want to come on. So if you want to come on down. You see, oh, hello. You're gonna be. I'm sorry. This is this pug looking at me, staring at me. But here we go. Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, look what I got today.
There you go. What do you think?
Yeah, a nice little funny book I got in the mail today.
Yeah.
Really excited about it.
Really good delivery, you know.
Dude, it's so smooth, man.
Yeah, it's pretty.
My cat found the surface and she started going.
Okay.
Because cats like smooth stuff.
So we do have hold on. Unfortunately, Alfonso, you bring up an excellent point. There needs to be more women in writing. Unfortunately, Alfonso, and because otherwise I would invite you on right now, and you could just hop on, and then we could go at it. But as it is, Vicky Verse is out there, and she follows the stream pretty well, and she moderates it typically, so she has writer aspirations, so we're helping her. But look, I mean, I can't force writing on people. Yeah, I went through this discussion a bit with my daughter. Uh-oh, I'm roboting. Hold on. Hello. Am I still roboting? Is this bad?
No, I hear you clear.
Okay, good. All right, good.
Yep, gotcha.
And here's... Hello.
Patriarchal ape.
Putting in my shit. Has it been live for 7 minutes? It's been live for 7 minutes.
So we have Patreon. And there's Vicky Verse. And Vicky, yeah, so my friend Jennifer has messaged you.
I don't know if I can close your door.
You're welcome to come on, and certainly we'd love it if you could present some pages, Vicky, and then that would help us get some more, perfume on the writer show.
If you want to throw drop.
Let's see. All right, so we have Patriarchal Ape. We got Mecca McCheese, and then we need Thomas, right? Any idea on Thomas's whereabouts?
It says the show is live.
Yeah, we are live.
I just started a little early. I just felt I would like talk to some people for a minute, see how it went.
Interesting week in Comicsgate. I can't wait to see your video on it.
God, at this point, I'm intimidated.
Art.
Like, how can I possibly condense this? I'm like, I'm gonna have to do like 3 shows. I'm gonna have to do like 3 30-minute shows or something like this. So much stuff.
Art is truly transcendent. It has destroyed what we could not. Exactly. One bad Vampirella drawing was all it took.
I know.
And deservedly so. Deservedly so.
It's so strange that Vampirella sketch is like the grift that broke the camel's back. People in the campaign were like, "That's just too damn far."
That's the one. That's the one that went too far. It really wasn't that. It was us. I'm taking credit. I'm taking credit for that.
Full credit.
Yeah.
It's truly remarkable what art can do to people. It can bring you together. It can destroy you. It can
wondrous. The detail.
And yes, my video rendering is a bit off. It's also out of time. I've ordered some cables to fix that. I don't know. I'm just monkeying around with this whole thing. I started with a webcam. But
it's just fun. It's for fun.
Just make sure you're loud enough.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, the volume. I think the volume is the biggest concern. Is that
Okay.
when it's uneven, like if your microphone is too quiet. I prefer people's microphones are too loud than too quiet because when you have to turn it up and then the next video you play is like too loud and it's blasting your eardrums out.
All right, everybody in chat, how's my microphone? Is volume good? I'm gonna.
I can hear you, but I think it's. I don't know. It's.
I got the headphones in.
I'll turn it up.
I got the headphones in. That's why I can hear you.
Yeah, the headphones kind of throw it off because then it makes you as loud as anything else I can hear, which is.
Yeah, my brother was trying to listen to the last show I was on.
So you're all good. So we got it. You're all good. Okay.
I think it's about the same. I mean, it wasn't until like 2 weeks later I just started listening to the one where my brother presented his script, and he's like 3 times louder than you are in that.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So which one should we go with first? We have.
Do you want to do my brother's first, or should we do because
sure,
I brought
all right. I'm gonna
sure.
I mean, we could do mine first and end with my brother's because my brother's
I already opened Nom de Guerra New Part 2, right? Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, that's I came up with a name for the story.
Okay.
And the original term is Nom de Guerre, but yours is like a pun on that or something?
Yeah, although it's essentially the same word apparently. I looked it up, the spelling, and the French Nom de Guerre basically means war name, and it's like this is basically the same thing, but it's two different languages, essentially almost sharing the same word.
I've turned my microphone up. Hopefully, I'm not too loud.
Somebody is saying Preston's too quiet in the chat.
Okay.
All right. You seem a little louder now, at least.
Okay. Good. All right. Let's see. Share screen.
If I stop my camera periodically, I got a good reason for it. I don't mean to trip you out or anything.
Yeah, that's fine. Like if you have to cough, coof, or whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So last time, this wasn't the one about the color orange, right? That was.
No, that was mine. That was overripe.
Okay. So what's this one about? Refresh my memory.
This is the conservative nightmare.
Yeah, post-collapse conservative nightmare. As only we can write it. My brother specifically. In fact, I was just listening to like the first 3 pages, and I immediately started coming up with ideas to add to this. I was like, maybe me and my brother should actually sort of write this together. But
so this is gonna be very great, very effective.
Okay, can you just so everybody in the audience knows as well as me? Can you refresh my memory about what happened on pages 1 through 10?
We met with the main character, some of his navel gazing about his past, his dark, secluded past, where
lonely,
it was
sad,
very lonely, sad, and
cut off from the world, a world that doesn't care about anything anymore.
Yeah, very post-economic collapse, and just this single, sad, lonely man. And trying to get by on his food stamps
among the normie cattle. It's very self-insert, of course.
All right. Which? Hold on. Oh wow. Okay, hold on.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. There's some fiddling going on now.
Yeah, I just realized my mic cable was unplugged. That's why I was so quiet.
Okay, yeah, you sound completely different now.
Yes, I bet I sound completely different now. Okay.
Yeah,
it's actually the.
Although I think it's picking up more room tone.
I'm hearing a fan.
Yeah.
Running.
Yeah. I'll let me end that real quick.
You're way more audible, at least.
Yeah. I have a throat drop. So yeah, there's like 4 characters in this. I mean, 4 possible voices we can use. There's narration. Then there's the main character.
I could do the narration. I mean, the narration is in the narrator narration as opposed to reading the actual script part narration.
There's that too. And then there's the girl character, and then there's the gang. The gang of criminals.
Oh, so this is going to be like Lightbringer then.
It's going to be like Lightbringer if it was done right.
Another thing I was thinking about, though, is that it's not about a guy on food stamps, though. It's a guy on universal basic income after everyone gets their Yang bucks.
Yeah,
That's specifically what should be pointed out that it's about.
perpetual Yang Bucks future.
The dystopian Yang bucks future.
So MC, who's MC?
MC.
MC, which is the main character.
Main
you
character.
you didn't rename that to.
Still haven't found a name for that yet, but I did come
I
up
thought
with
it was
a
going to
name.
be Guerrera.
Mick Cheese.
There we go.
MC
Mick Cheese. All right, so Mick Cheese
MC
rushes out the door with his bag of junk food.
See, makes sense.
Yeah.
Fits
Narration probably continued across extra panels. I often wish I could live further. All right, so who do you want to read?
I could do the narration
All
part.
right, go ahead. Go ahead.
I often wish I could live further away from civilization, but I would need a car to reach the things I need to survive, and working cars are a rarity.
So then, who's going to read panel 2 here? Am I doing that?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Behind the McCheese, a group of people burst out of the doors of the store, looking like they might cause trouble, being loud. Panel 3, McCheese hunched over and trying to walk fast. One hand dug into his pocket, carrying his dinky little folding knife. The gang in the background seems to be looking his way. Gang shouts at McCheese. He turns his head to keep an eye on them, while still power walking.
It's been a while since I got in any trouble with others.
Gang is still following and shouting at McCheese. He pulls the knife out of his pocket and clutches it like brass knuckles. He is clearly afraid. He keeps walking away fast. Gang is shouting louder but not getting closer. McCheese remains tense as the lights of the populated district grow further away.
Last time I was punched, it took an entire week until it stopped hurting.
Page 12, panel 1, small. McCheese reaches his hand, reaches his domed hovel. I don't know where he got hand. Slouching in minor exhaustion and relief. In the distance, a tiny figure seems to be spying on him, nearly unnoticeable. Panel 2, small. McCheese inside home settles in at his desk.
This used to be enough for me, just getting by, surviving, staying out of trouble. But I swear life outside this place is getting worse.
Panel 3, McCheese is playing some kind of video game on his computer, Battlefield, or some kind of action shooter.
It used to be just the inner city you wanted to avoid. Then it was where the suburbs connected to the city.
McCheese shoving snacks into his mouth while craned over his keyboard.
Then it was parts of the suburbs were bad, and now it's everywhere but the wilderness.
Panel 13, or page 13, panel 1, the night passing outside his house. Faint traces of colorful light can be seen from holes and gapes around his structure. Clear signals of being the only sign of life for quite a while in every direction.
I can't get any further away without living in the wilderness, but I can't survive on my own. I was raised to trust the system we lived in, and then the system fell apart. I'm too old to learn how to be a criminal, but not old enough to have any money saved up so I can leave. No one taught me how to hunt or build stuff, and I was never in the kind of shape to be a professional fighter, so what choices do I really have except to subsist as best I can?
Panel 2, small. McCheese sits on his bed, leaning back against the wall, reading a book, a tiny desk lamp pointing over his shoulder. Panel 3, McCheese cooks something simple in his tiny kitchen area, a hot plate on a countertop. Panel 4, the night has passed outside his home. The sky is turning dark blue. Panel 5, McCheese sleeping, flopping on his bed, which is the size of a cot. Page 14, panel 1, late afternoon. McCheese is woken up to the sounds of scrambling outside.
Damn squirrels and rabbits taking over now that I am the only human around for at least a mile in every direction.
Panel 2, outside, distant, a small human figure running away from the front door. McCheese's home. Panel 3, McCheese exiting the shower to get dressed.
Gonna have to go out again tonight.
Panel 4, small. McCheese inspecting the cupboard where his meager food is stored. Only 1 can of soup and 1 box of instant mashed potatoes remaining. The fridge next to the cupboard is also open and contains 1 bottle of ketchup that is half filled and a jug of water that is nearly empty.
A man cannot exist on bread and water alone, or in my case, chips and soda. I need something a bit more substantive and cheap.
Panel 5, Small McCheese leaves his home carrying an empty backpack which he slings over one shoulder. The corner of the housing block seems to be hiding a small human figure almost unnoticeable. The sun is hanging low in the sky. The McCheese clearly sleeps during the day.
The McCheese stands alone.
Page 15, panel 1. McCheese walks into town. Already there is noise and commotion. People screaming at each other. Very few cars, but the ones that seem to be owned by criminals and gang members. McCheese is passing the convenience store from last night and heading towards a run-down-looking supermarket. A small figure is keeping its distance behind him. Panel 2, McCheese inside the store picking up a bottle of very cheap-looking pre-processed food tablets. The shelves in the store look very sparsely stocked.
A miracle of modern science. Boy, I remember when I was a kid, we ate real food, and there seemed to be a hell of a lot more of it. Well, real food does still exist. I'm just not rich enough to afford it.
Panel 3, Small McCheese leaves the store. Backpack is crammed full of various canned and bottled items. A lot of activity around him as the sun setting and the bad guys come out of the woodwork to take over the street. Small figures spying at McCheese from around the corner.
Gotta adapt. Cheaper, nastier food, meaner people. I saw this coming, but I didn't change to prepare myself. I should have known things weren't going to improve.
Page 4, large. McCheese headed over with his sack of goods as he continues home. The gang by the party store looks familiar, but takes no notice of him so far. As the small figure follows over, McCheese scampers past them. Panel 5. The small figure, a girl about age 10, catches the attention of a gang, about 3 people. As she keeps up with McCheese while staying out of his sight, the gang, who were almost somewhat loud, begin yammering in her direction in a somewhat threatening manner. Perhaps some dialogue should be written here. Perhaps some should.
But there isn't.
But there isn't.
It's not.
Who did we talk to about that?
It's the least important part of the story frame.
Least important. I knew there was going to be a daughter Fu showing up.
I just say, in the time it took you to type out, perhaps there should be some dialogue here. You could write McCheese yells, "Get off my lawn!" Anyway, page 16, panel 1.
But that always depends.
He calls the gang members spooks.
And frame with the child and gang members as they take notice of both her and McCheese. Gang member 1. Go ahead, McCheese. Read that.
Gang member 1, page 16.
16.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, where are you going?
All right, Thomas. Laugh for us.
Ha ha, rah ha ha.
There we go. Panel 2. McCheese attempts to ignore them, but dips his hand into his pocket. Gang member 2.
Hey.
Panel 3. Small gang is now approaching the McCheese and the girl now. Gang member 1.
Hey, you, get over here.
Just quick question. All right. So, girl. All right, the girl we introduced on panel 14. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Panel
4.
Yeah.
Girl runs from the corner down the street in the direction of McCheese as a gang member chases her. Gang member 1. Gang member 1.
Both of you now.
Panel 5. Girl. Let's see. A girl steps into the street in front of McCheese. She looks a little worried, but more annoyed than anything. The gang comes to a stop right behind the two of them, and McCheese still turned away from them, but tensing up. Page 17, panel 1, Small McCheese stops in his tracks, is turned halfway towards the gang.
Hey, what you got there?
Pointing at McCheese's bag of food.
Anything for us?
Panel 2, Small McCheese is frozen in place. He looks almost sick with fear, one hand on the backpack strap over his shoulder, the other clenching the knife. He would almost look cool if not for the terror.
I really thought he was going to be saying, "Why are you fucking with me?
Hey, yo, why you fucking
Why are you fucking with me?
Fuck you, McCheese, because we can.
Because I can."
We need a line of dialogue here.
Yes.
MC.
Yes.
Who was
That's
this?
me. Leave me alone. He just says,
Yeah.
"Leave me alone." And then gang members, hoo hoo hoo
Hugh, hoo,
hoo hoo hoo.
It's Krusty the Clown. That's apparently one of the
Krusty the
gang
Clown
members.
is one. Yeah, it's the Krusty gang.
Yeah. By the way, there was a note from the audience that perhaps your note in the script was there just as a suggestion for the artist, but that's not the way comic books work.
No,
No,
Yeah.
that wasn't the point.
this is beyond a rough. It's the roughest of first drafts.
It's
Yeah.
not even a
Microsoft
finished draft
Notepad.
yet. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
impossible
on
to read.
Miscellaneous dialogue can be added later.
I actually liked writing in Notepad, at least at the beginning, to be honest.
Okay.
Like back in 2010, 2011. Actually really liked scripting just in Notepad.
I don't know if I can even
All right,
get
page
PDF
17.
working.
We're almost done. All right.
Okay.
So
We're close.
Oh, okay.
Panel 2. McCheese is frozen in place. He looks almost sick with fear. One hand on the backpack strap over. Yeah, whatever.
You already
Looks
read
over
this
his
We did
shoulder.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to
What?
keep going. Leave me alone. Gang members chuckling. Panel 3. The girl steps away from the gang members, defiant.
Go away!
Gang member laughing a bit.
Hey,
Gang member
kid.
1.
Why don't you go away? We're talking to our friend here. He's got something for us. You aren't his friends. I know that. He doesn't have any friends.
Panel 4 is small. The gang member laughing very hard.
Way to hoe him out.
Panel 5. The girl looks at me while pointing at the gang. Girl.
Looks like you have to kill them.
Panel
Oh,
6.
what a
McCheese
jerk.
puts the I know, man. Pulls a knife out of his pocket and opens it. He looks pretty irritated and angry, still scared. Page 18, panel 1. Gang members leaning back a bit, except one at the lead. General sounds of displeasure and feigned posture of strength.
You want to
Okay.
die over a bag of food? I'm gonna get your knife.
Panel 2. Gang lead still approaching and talking. McCheese is standing still with knife at the ready, and a general stance prepared to strike, but looking more worried as the gang leader gets closer. Panel 3. Just as the gang leader is standing over McCheese, McCheese slashes with a knife full force across the gang leader's belly. A splash of blood flies out across the panel. Panel 4. Gang leader stumbles back and clutches his wound, grunting and groaning. No disemboweling. This should appear superficial but visceral. Gang member behind him yell, out in surprise. Panel 5. McCheese slowly backing away from facing the gang. Out, entire hand holding the knife drenched in blood up to his wrist, shaking a bit, still looking fearful. Panel 6. McCheese breaking off into a run as the gang members gather around their wounded leader. McCheese still looking back to see if they follow. The gang girl follows behind him. Page 19. Panel 1. McCheese is shaking through the alleyways. He is changing his direction often, but he is still headed home. He looks a little shaken.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. That's over now. At least.
Yeah, it's over for today.
Right. Just another day.
A few months ago, I was in a situation like that. It didn't go so well for me then.
Page 2. The pair still crisscrossing through alleys and abandoned streets.
Oh, that's too bad. But that happens a lot around here.
I wish I could do more, but I can't get a gun.
Panel 3. Pair walking in the middle of an empty streets. Few lights. No other signs of life.
Why can't you?
Because they're illegal in this state. That means only criminals have guns, and I'm no criminal.
Laying it on a little thick there.
Panel 4. Vicky is offering to read the girl dialogue.
Hey,
Come on in.
It'd be nice to have you on.
Why isn't Vicky here now?
But
Yeah.
it's too late now. Too late now.
Too late.
Yeah, come on in. The water's just fine.
Exactly. Panel 4. Similar area. Girl.
That doesn't seem right. If you have to be a criminal to protect yourself from bad guys like that, then what's the point of obeying the law?
What's the point, indeed?
Wink.
If you're looking at the camera.
That's right. Wink.
Is that's like 9 pages or was that 10?
Yeah, that's 9 pages. It started at 11. Actually,
Is 20
it
the
started-
last page then?
It started at page 11, so yeah, 20 is the last page.
Okay.
Wow, did not accomplish much so far, did we?
There was action.
Somebody got slashed, and somebody bought food.
In reverse order.
It's not in that order.
Is Preston still here?
Is Preston crashed out? It looks like it's frozen
I
up.
think his thing froze it up.
We're still alive, though?
Oh yeah, he crashed
Bye,
out.
Preston.
It's our show now.
Yep. It's
Okay.
my show now. Is it still streaming though? Isn't it streaming from his channel? Oh, damn it. Script closed. So
yeah, we're still live without him on his channel.
Good.
The
Do you
stream
guys have...
is now about.
But yeah, it does still stream. Actually, you can leave your own stream and it will still stream. It's not until you send the shutdown notice.
Right, that's
yeah, he might have to just reconnect or something. Where's in the thing?
I'm trying to open the script right now. Open. Okay, here. I can continue reading.
Somebody wants to hear about writing in Notepad.
Writing in Notepad.
The thing about writing in Notepad is that there's no differentiation between pages unless you make it yourself. There's no page separations like there is in Word.
I don't have Java and I don't have Flash, so PDFs, they're big trouble.
Yeah,
they're just a huge nightmare. So I prefer not to use them.
I've never been able to make a PDF that actually fucking works properly. I mean, I've made some PDFs, but usually it was like when I had to upload the one for Literally, I had to just get the artist to try and make a PDF. And usually the only thing that works is websites. We tried making PDFs in the PDF program and it wouldn't do it. It refused. It would just say, no, you can't do this. You have to buy a license or some shit. And it's like, that's completely stupid. I despise Adobe too.
Despise Adobe. Yeah, exactly. They're just so bug ridden and
hey, while we're waiting for Preston to come back, can we get some likes in the chat? Share the stream out, you guys. Do all that fancy YouTuber stuff.
Like, share, comment, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed.
Smash the smash button. We got 11 likes and 11 watching. 12 likes.
The smash button.
Like the smash button and smash the like button.
Today I'm going to talk to you about how much I hate Star Wars. This is my 84th video on the subject.
Did you guys hear about this Star Wars thing? It sucks. Oh.
It's like the Amazing Atheist video, number 3226. Well, God still doesn't exist. See you next week.
I love seeing, by the way, all the people going nuts about Common America. It's really blowing because it's not just that people like it, but that actually has any relevance. Like it's actually having an actual connection to readers. People
First off, it's actually
like,
likable. People read it and it's like, oh man, I connect with this. This is fun. This looks good.
But also like the things being said in it, people are like, oh yeah, this really speaks to me. That's something you can't get in any comic made by people with the fake belief that you shouldn't have politics in comics. Because really saying you shouldn't have politics in comics is like saying you shouldn't have a personal viewpoint in comics.
And then guess what? The leader of the movement that says that you shouldn't have politics in comics, put politics in his comic.
Yeah, really out of date, meaningless politics, though. It's like a really tepid take from 20 years ago. Like, oh, did you hear about this president who did this thing?
Did you hear about President Clinton? Yeah, I remember President Clinton.
I remember President. It's like, did your life peak in the 90s or something? Why don't you go have something new to say about something?
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Oh, you know what? I believe him.
Especially remember the part where the fucking not the World Trade Center, but the fucking Oklahoma City bombing thing. And it's like, we will find the fuckers who did this.
Oh yeah, I can't believe he said fuckers on live television.
Fuckers on
Clinton said that.
Yeah, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton
just ends the video with "fuck them," and it's like, holy shit!
That's an old like radio
bit where they just censor parts of the fucking.
Yeah, where it's sort of like didn't Jimmy Kimmel start doing that many years later, where he'll just add beeps to some news clips and it make it sound like they're swearing. That was pretty good. Anyways,
we need more comics that do a deep dive into the views of Gerald Ford.
Yeah, Shane. That's a pretty good point. Who even talked about that stuff?
Actually, besides Notepad, I wrote like the entire first 10 pages on this thing called Darkroom. It's basically like a Notepad, but the background's black, and the text is like a bright green. It's like old style computer monitor. But the thing is, there's no scroll bar.
Did we have another script
Safe space, is that what it was?
I have my okay. Wait, he says computer froze. That's what I thought. He says be right there. So he'll be back in a minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can keep bullshitting.
We can talk about all kinds of things now.
I mean, I was going to say we could read the rest. We could read the last page if you have it open.
Yeah, I have it open. I could read the rest.
I don't know if I don't know if Preston wants us to do that while he's gone, though. So we could just wait for him to come back. I mean, we have other things we could talk about. By the way, Forge, I noticed Forge because I follow him on Twitter. He was talking about how Jedi Fallen Order. Let's just start by taking Luke's lightsaber away from Rey. Just snatch it out of her filthy fucking hands and give it to Cal Kestis. I had to wait almost 40 fucking years for a more actual real Star Wars. Play this game at once. The characters are all brilliant. It makes you actually care about what happens to them. The tone is spot on. And then I replied to him saying it actually makes you feel like you're Star Wars.
I'm Mr. Star Wars, man. But yeah,
it's like Star Wars. But yeah, I guess Forge really likes Jedi Fallen Order, even though a lot of people were saying, yeah, it's like the Dark. And he's actually the one who convinced me to try Dark Souls. But a lot of people said that Jedi Fallen Order wasn't good, or was like, oh, it's buggy, or it's just a Dark Souls knockoff, or it's not good. But I guess Forge really likes it. I don't know.
Okay. I can't really trust anyone else's opinion when it comes to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like even Forge. I like Forge, but I don't exactly trust his opinion all the time. But
people you're not going to get a lightsaber.
Yeah,
in a video game, but I mean that's not saying a whole
He also
lot.
says 37 years of people bumble fucking around with Star Wars. I thought it was just over and dead like everything else I cared about. Play this game if Star Wars ever mattered to you in any way. If you're young, you'll learn what it's actually supposed to feel like.
Nah, it was a fine action game.
Yeah,
playthrough.
I have a feeling it's
that's the thing though. Is so many people are like, "Oh, the new movies are terrible." It makes me really appreciate the prequels, and it's like, well, then you don't get it.
Yeah, the prequels are still like I don't even like the new movies, and I didn't like The Last Jedi either. But the prequels, it's hard to make a worse movie in the history of the human race than the prequels. There's nothing in the prequels. It doesn't have any story. I guess if you're Preston's back, but without a webcam.
He plugged in. Yeah, he plugged in his mic, and it ruined everything.
I had a Windows nightmare, so I'm just like, screw it. I'm gonna switch computers and.
No, that's what happens when you plug in your microphone, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It froze, then it updated, then it froze. I'm like, oh my god.
You actually sound
so much
louder.
Clearer.
Yeah, you sound louder and clearer now, though. Than you did last
ever before.
But there's no
no video. I have the thing open. I could read it, or you could read it.
Hold on, let me open Discord, and I will be right there. We'll just have to find out what page we were on. I think
we were just on the last page. So if you scroll to the bottom, squirrel to the bottom. Hero Shack says, my wife and I sat through a prequel a couple of days ago. I think it was a snoozer. And it doesn't even matter which prequel it was. All of them are pretty much the same, just bland, pointless.
Well, let's face it. The very first one was the absolute worst. And the second one was...
Attack of the Clones.
And I think the second one actually was worse. Yeah, I think Attack of the Clones was it. Because the Attack of the Clones is where things should have at least picked up a little bit. And instead they got... It's bogged down even worse. And then
for me, I had no hope left for the trilogy.
Yeah, it was at the bottom. My level of caring. Here's my level of caring. Right now, I'm at 0, and then it's like it just failed to bottom out any further.
Bottom out is right.
Yeah. All right. So page 20 or whatnot.
Yes.
All right.
The start of page 20. Can you
Good
make
Lord, what is this? A fucking Mac or a Linux or what? Holy shit!
Linux.
It's a Unix system.
The Linux, Munix.
This is a Mac, as I mentioned. This is totally
a Mac. Ugh.
Zoom out.
So sad that he died. So sad that Steve Jobs died of Ligma.
Yeah. Who's Steve Jobs?
He's the guy
who made balls. Oh, okay.
He's the guy who made Apple.
Sounds like a dog in here.
Is there Pupper? Woofo, Pupper, whatever the fuck the kids call it these days.
My wife sees Star Wars and still assumes fun. I don't know what that means, but all right.
So I guess assumes that Star Wars should be fun. You know what that is? Is that Solo? I actually liked Solo though.
All right,
Really?
panel 3.
I thought it was well. I mean, again, my standards were so low. We're
Yeah.
so
So
low.
low.
So
Exactly.
low you can't hear them.
Whap, 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 whap.
I
Page
have
9.
trouble hearing that low to the ground. Yeah,
Yeah.
page 20 was where we left off.
Oh,
then.
page 20. Okay, panel 1. The two arrive back at Mick's home base. They stop outside the front door. Mick is holding his blood-covered hand away from everything like a surgeon preparing to operate while trying to fish his door keys out of the opposite pants pocket. Bags of groceries sitting on the ground. The girl is still looking back, keeping a watchful eye out for anyone in case they were followed. McCheese.
Or yeah,
Just referring to him as Mick. I wonder, maybe I should name this character Mick.
There you go.
Mickey.
Anyways,
No,
no going back there ever again. Not without a new plan or better protection.
At least you have some place to live.
Yeah, for however long that's going to be now.
Panel 2. Mick has his keys and has paused to look at the girl as he approaches his door. The girl is looking like a lost puppy.
You don't have any other place you can go?
No family that I know of. No one that cares.
Panel 3. Mick standing in front of his door, frozen in place, looking at the girl, somewhat perplexed. He is considering some way to help her.
You aren't mad that I may have started that fight?
Not really. It would have ended up about the same, maybe worse. Look, you need a place to stay. We're surrounded by empty buildings.
Panel 4. Mick opening the door and hefting the bag of food in.
I don't know. That whole thing happening, I'm kind of scared.
Just go crack open the door to one of the houses next to this one, and if anything happens...
Break the door so it can't be locked or shut again?
Yeah, well, damn it. Look at my place. There's nowhere for you to even sit, let alone sleep. My back hurts, so I'm not sleeping on my floor.
Just inside the domicile, Mick is leaving the backpack of food on the floor while moving to the kitchen sink, trying to keep his blood-covered hand from touching anything else. The girl is inspecting an area by the front door with a coat rack, and some other hooks are hanging jackets and some other objects, an umbrella and such.
Ugh.
What about...
Panel 6, small. Mick, vigorously scrubbing the blood off his hands. He looks nauseous. Girl is moving some of the jackets off the hooks and the coat rack and finds a large piece of cloth like a tarp. Panel 7. Mick, still completely scrubbing his hand, splashing water, looks almost manic to get his hand clean, washing a washcloth against his bloody hand. The girl has strung the tarp between a hook on the wall by the front door and the coat rack. Girl.
Here, now I don't have to risk being eaten by rats or cannibals or whatever else is out there.
Panel 8. Mick looks over as the coat rack falls to its side. All right. So, it's a lot of stuff. Who wants to start us off?
What are we starting with? Are we going to read the whole thing over again?
No.
Now we start over again.
Yes.
Yeah. So, positive notes. Who wants to go first?
Positive
I like
notes.
it. I like it.
Oh, all right. Yeah, me too. There. Good show. Make sure to like,
had
share,
words?
comment, subscribe.
There you go.
There was words?
It was certainly read. It was certainly a book.
Well,
Yeah.
after the beginning, I was wondering, like, is this going to go anywhere with like a narrative structure? Or is it just going to be like, here, this guy is sad, he lives on his own, the society's collapsed, and then it just
slice of life. He
Well,
goes to his
continues to
trendy,
collapse, and then it continues to collapse, and then it
All right.
continues to
All
collapse,
right.
trendy.
and then he
All
starves.
right.
Does he starve? Spends the next 20 pages starving to death, or what?
All right. So, do you have a positive in there somewhere, Thomas, for us?
No.
No. Okay.
No, but I mean, it's but in this, it's like, okay, there's going somewhere where there's characters are getting together. to have some kind of situation. I'm not sure where it's going, but it looks like it's going somewhere.
I did take that advice from the last show that I was on, where it's like this kind of it needs to be going somewhere. And originally it was just going to be an altercation that just they both sides back down when they see the knife, and it's like, no, that's not dramatic enough. So I had him actually slash the guy.
Not exactly likely either. If a guy is just going to back down over like, oh no, a knife, and it's like I have 5 people, but you have a knife. It's
All right.
it doesn't matter.
Mecca, do you have positives for?
I was interested in the world building.
Okay.
That was interesting.
Characters named after you. You should like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was very flattered.
I'm kind of looking forward to
this is
world
Mecca's
that's
turn.
built.
Let's
Okay.
Mecca has the conch. All right.
Yeah, it was interesting world building. I like that we got to the action real quick. I guess I missed the first couple pages, so I'm not really sure what was going on, but it was enjoyable. It was really fast too.
Yeah, the first 10 pages actually has a lot of like this. It's like this kind of, I don't know, what do you call it? Dream sequence. It's an entire metaphor. So you really didn't miss a giant amount.
Like, good. I hate dream sequences.
It's dreamy.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. Yeah.
So I like that we took the man versus society struggle and we attached human face to it, because clearly the girl is going to play into the larger theme of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then
ideally,
so I mean, look, I'm sure he's going to do that, so I was happy to see her introduction. I think I think that is where the story is going to really hook people, is what happens to that little girl in the shape of society. So great one.
My brother caught it. He called it pretty early. The daughter fool.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it's because the main character is clearly supposed to represent the results of a collapsing society, but then like an abandoned girl will also help cement like how society clearly just stopped caring about anything or can't seem to anymore.
Well, in particular, the theme she represents is basically it's his first real responsibilities. Now he has to take care of this girl.
Mm-hmm. And his thing cut out, but yeah, that's what it should. You want to be able to get to that as soon as possible too. In any story, yeah.
Did it cut out? And I have no idea.
No, I'm here. I can hear you.
No, it dumped everything you just said.
Okay, great, awesome. I just explained the entire crux of the thing. I spoiled the whole story leading up to the end.
I could hear you for like the past 20 seconds talking, and there was just nothing.
Awesome, and we're on the same internet connection too.
Yeah, exact same connection. I mean, maybe we should go back to DSL.
All right, so
Carol fucking Baskin.
Yeah.
Constructives Mecca.
Like what could be improved?
Yes.
Or changed or anything. Yeah.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. It's all
like look.
Because it's an early draft.
If I asked you, if you were ready to plunk down dollars for this to make it into the next great comic book that we're going to sell 1 million of, what elements would you want to see changed?
More flirting between the main character and the girl.
She's like
budding romance 10? Between him and a 10-year-old.
I did not know she was 10.
I mean, I guess it kind of doesn't matter. The point
says
is
she's 10, but yeah.
Yeah, the point is that
I missed that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the daughter foo perfect cinnamon roll. It's Vivian James basically.
Yeah.
And so that he's gonna basically from the impression I got is that he's gonna basically be trying to raise her, and there's definitely a lot that.
So it's like some Logan road trip kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
the impression I got.
Yeah, I was thinking they were going to start flirting because he was talking about not sleeping on the floor and stuff like that. So
yeah, I want to make sure to go away from that.
Yeah, you want to avoid that. There's a lot of
he can't sleep on the floor. I think it was my brother who mentioned it while he was listening to the other version. It's like we have to make sure that people understand the main character is crippled.
Mhm.
And I didn't
Oh.
even put that into the story
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
so-
I could tell that was basically the point was that the main character was crippled, and there was like, well, it doesn't come through. There's a lot of well, not criticisms, but there was a lot of stuff when I was listening to it. It's like, oh, I know exactly where my brother's going with this, and it's like you should add this. You should add a part where it's like the organic food as opposed to the stuff he's buying. The stuff he's buying is because he has to buy it because the organic food is like $40 for an orange and that kind of shit.
Yeah, nobody can afford the Whole Foods except for the ultra wealthy.
Basically, they erased GMOs, so only organic foods exist. Like I knew this without even reading the rest of it. I knew that was supposed to be in the comic, without ever hearing this story before.
I'm not sure how.
By the way, I got a constructive here.
Okay.
And it's tough to break you two up because you're used to broadcasting together and your brothers.
Yes.
But you in the comic when you're describing the food, right? It's I think you said like cheap looking or something like that.
Yeah, junk food. But that's another thing that needs to be more strongly established in the beginning.
Because like you're asking the artist to come up with a concept of what future junk food looks like.
And
or just processed, that kind of stuff that would just come in
it's like a
bags or
bottle.
something.
The only description I have is like one of them's it's a bottle of pre-processed food tablets. That's like the only thing I describe in that.
Yeah, there definitely has to be more descriptions and more filling out and fleshing out of what that exactly is supposed to be.
That's the thing is all of this is like, again, I'm not sure how complete the script needs to be for us to present it here because this is so early in the process.
I'm giving you notes. So
basically the script is notes. It's like almost raw notes at this point.
I very much hammered it out.
Look, it's fine. I'm just telling you, in general. I mean, like,
it's still being hammered together, basically.
Yeah. But, like, look, if you're just going, instead of putting, like some version of future junk food, describe it like, give just a little bit more descriptive hints, like black slashes like an Adidas logo splay across a yellow background on a candy wrapper, or something, or on like a wrapper of what appears to be ramen noodles as he grabs it, whatever. And like, okay, we know what it is, and that's a more clear direction for the artist.
Or a bag that just says food on it, like
or just like a generic orange bag that just says food, like something like that.
A white label with just the black letters.
Yes,
food. Or beans.
Right. Exactly.
But you can't do that exactly because people would say, "Oh, you're just doing the repo." I mean, you could
ripping off repo. Well, the thing is,
depends on the tone you're going for. If you're going for like borderline tongue-in-cheek comedy or something,
but it's also why I had it so that he buys snacks the first.
And it cut right out again. But anyways,
Yep.
So he goes and gets canned food. Like no fresh food. I probably
dumped all of that again.
Yeah.
Maybe go in the other direction, like less food. Just totally, because a big criticism I have of some of the big two books is some of the SJW writers go deep into food humor and references. I'm not going to read a comic book and want to think about eating. So I just, he had a bag of food works for me to, throw a logo on there or something like Whack Ronald's maybe.
Well, I mean, but it's also representative of the collapse of society is, especially because what they would do to control is.
Yeah, the meat that's made out of insect or not insect larvae, like but it was
the bug parts food. Basically, that's how they would control society. Is the real food, actual organic stuff, would be way too expensive and price poor people out to control them, and then the poor people would basically be controlled by the cheapest food that's also filled with debilitating chemicals and shit.
Right,
you're getting a little too real.
yeah, exactly.
Get a little hardcore, dropping some.
It stops being science. It stops being science fiction at some point and just starts being a real story. Yeah,
I don't want to depress people.
This isn't fun.
Much.
Yeah,
generic food.
Yeah, you make a generic food company that makes everything cheap.
Yeah, that was another thing I was going to say is that this shouldn't be your first comic. You don't want your first comic to be the most depressing thing humanly possible. I would say, you want to work on this and finish it, but I would say try and have another.
I don't know, man.
Well,
White Lily's pretty good. And
but I mean, that's not the most depressing. Like here, society's going to collapse. There is no hope.
Well,
there can be no true despair.
True.
I mean,
World War II at least
World War
ended.
II Russia.
Yeah,
World War
won
II
the food wars.
Yeah, that is
Food
depressing.
wars.
World War II Russia doesn't
Right.
have exactly a happy ending.
The thing was, I was thinking also of maybe making it so it was clear the when the gang members show up that the leader was clearly taller and larger than all the rest, and the other two are like rail thin. So that's clear that one of them is eating more than the others.
That's something you should put into your notes right now. Is to rewrite that to add that detail, and then you should.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, you need to also add to your notes that the main character should be like rail skinny and borderline misshapen at being malnourished and that kind of stuff. Because I already knew that's what you were going for.
What the hell's my notepad? Okay.
Yeah,
It was an interesting world to dive into, definitely.
Yeah, because it's like almost the in between between current day and Idiocracy era, and I think that's another thing that you're definitely going for.
And of course, I was thinking the same thing my brother was thinking when the gang members show up and start yelling, "Hey, you and your bitch, what's up?
You and your motherfucking bitch, what's up?
Hey, yo, why you fucking
with me?"
Now, was this the guy that was a baby thrown into the garbage?
Yeah, metaphorically.
Okay, so like,
basically
wasn't
to
he
represent society?
I'm trying to remember how much of a badass he was in the first 10 pages. Like, wasn't he like a total badass in the first 10, or was that?
Not really.
Oh.
He, if anything, to me,
Yeah.
writing it and reading it over again, he was like the saddest loser ever.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll probably have to be tweaked then.
So,
There's definitely
so
have to be a
we've
lot
got the story of
rewriting.
the saddest loser ever. Okay, who finds a girl and he finds something to care about, and wow, this is deep and probably dark. Okay, I like it.
It has to be. You want to make sure it's still tonally consistent. You want to try not to make it like too comedically breaking up either.
Right.
There's a lot of work that can go into this, and I think it's definitely. I like the setting though, because it definitely is trying to get a point across of the post collapse where nobody gives a shit about anything.
I literally
anymore.
came up with this story just before Trump won. It was like, oh man, Hillary's probably gonna win, and when she wins, this is going to be the future for us. This is what we're going to be living like.
Yeah, and it's not going to be about the the sort of the breakout here. It's going to be about the common man, basically, how every person, the point where society should be trying to protect each other and itself. Instead, is just going to let all sorts of people.
There's no justice. There's no justice. Just us. That kind of thing. I don't want to spoil how deep it goes. But
Okay.
Into the deepening. The bottom keeps dropping out in the deepening.
But I did mention in a previous show that he's, and I was going to have it where in the very next page he agrees that he's going to find one of these other criminal gangs that flood the streets. He's going to join one of them, be a part of the gang, and try and work his way up. And that's essentially
So there is going to be like
more of the story would be working his way up as he kind of climbs the ranks of this criminal underground.
That would be interesting too, because I was thinking that it's just going to be like them, like either him against the world or him and Daughter Fu against the world. And it's like, oh, if he joins a gang though, that completely changes the dynamic. So
well, he's going to join a gang, and then he's going to find people who are actually like on his wavelength that he can get along with more, and then they form a stronger bond, a stronger union that makes a more effective leadership for these the criminal underworld of Los Angeles.
But also they would have to include that in order for it to be a stronger bond, it would have to come from that place of knowing having been disposed of, how everyone else would just dispose of you, and that would probably be the bond that he forms with other people.
Kill also.
Yeah, you've been disposed of too.
our main character is literally aborted in her own back.
Yeah, or Ryoko Matoi was literally
All
aborted
right.
as a child.
So, next story is
Again.
by Thomas. Is Safe Spaces, it appears to be?
Safe space.
Okay.
It could
Written
be part
by,
2.
let's see. We got like page 1 here through.
I don't know if I should join or if I should
Oh yeah, this is
do
part 1.
voice. I don't. Yeah, there's it's just a one shot.
I'll be
Okay.
right back.
After
Okay.
these messages. There we go.
Let's see. There's basically there's 2 main characters. Oh yeah, male presenter. I guess that is someone else. Would it be wrong for me to voice Thomas?
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas.
The thing is, though, the reading will never get beyond. Who was the female character? His maid.
Nice Mod voiced Charlene.
Yes, nice. Nobody's ever going to be able to do a better job of voicing Charlene than Nice Mod.
Nice Mod.
But
basically, he did he did like a very exaggerated Harley Quinn voice for her.
it was great. But I'm not. If I'm reading her, I'm not doing the voice.
Yeah,
I'll just.
you can't
read it.
top that.
I will just read it in my own voice.
We should have Vicky come on and read Charlene.
You're right.
All right, Vicky. There's a link in the description for
Yeah,
the writers'
she's gonna-
Discord,
She's
and you
gonna
can
join
just,
in.
yeah, you can just join in.
Oh, thank God.
And there we go.
Any day now.
Did you guys fire me?
Yeah.
No, well, not yet.
Okay.
There's some other voice lines.
Flame broiled, fired as in flame broiled.
You can voice later on. You can voice.
You can voice.
No, Mark Ruffalo.
You can voice Mark Ruffalo.
Yes,
Okay.
Mark Ruffalo.
yes.
The Mark Ruffalo.
He has a couple of lines.
All right. I don't know if I can come up with anything good for it, but I'll try.
You
right.
won't-
Not that any
you
of my
won't-
voices are good.
Trust me, you
Page-
won't have to.
Note
What
to
character am I
artists:
playing?
all directions, angles, perspective shots, colors, and page layouts are suggestions and open to discussion. The content itself is not. All right, page 1, interior. The concept of a larger, almost dinner-sized kitchen, focusing on the wall where a large flat-screen TV is anchored a healthy distance from the store and sink.
Stove.
From the stove and sink.
Numenon.
At least, yeah. The TV is displaying a live broadcast of the Academy Awards. Off to the side of the panel, we see a vague hint of Charlene watching the TV. Charlena Latterns is tall, an overweight black woman who is the personal assistant, or really the maid of the house. She's essentially meant to look like Gabrielle.
I don't know how her name is pronounced.
Gabourey Sinnebay, except not short. The TV shows the awards presenter, some movie star in a black tuxedo, at a clear glass podium speaking as he looks at the open envelope, and the closed captioning shows along the bottom of the TV as well, repeating what the man says. Male presenter. The award goes to Thomas Royloop for A Storm Touching the Ground. Clap, 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 clap.
And then
Close.
closed caption. It just says the same thing.
Charlene turns from the TV looking pleased as the presenter continues. The audience laughs. The bottom of the screen also shows a graphic saying Best Adapted Screenplay, Thomas Royloop, but the closed captioning layer is laying over most of it. All right, so who's male presenter?
I don't know.
I can do that.
Go
All
for
right.
it.
For obvious reasons, Mr. Royloop can't be with us tonight.
Clap, clap.
That's SFX, ha ha ha.
Oh, yeah. Ha, ha, ha.
And then closed captioning, just repeating it.
Panel 3, large panel, a cozy study that's been sloppy converted to a living room and a bedroom as if it was one big single bedroom apartment. Full bookshelves along the wall. There's a massive 15
This part's really long. I didn't.
Yeah, I noticed. This part intimidates.
Yeah, I wanted
Lord.
to establish the full look of it, though.
Yeah, let me put it this way. If I'm like the artist and I already quoted you a page rate and you send me the script, like just looking at this page, I'm going to be like, oh, shit.
No, oh yeah, I would be fully prepared to pay like double or triple just for this page alone.
Okay. All right. There's a
Can
massive
you really
15.
fit that into one image?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a massive 15-foot tall window off to the left, our left side, but it's nighttime and the curtains are closed over it. There's a made bed near the window that's clearly unused with a body pillow, aka hug pillow, laying over the tucked blanket. A vague hint of an anime girl on the pillowcase, which will be seen in better detail later. A table at the foot of the bed has a clock, a book, a mug of pins, a notepad.
Piss.
Pins, yeah.
No, that's a reference to the previous reading.
Some sort of house phone, like a wireless phone, or maybe some vintage rotary phone. The wainscoting and furnaces look expensive, carved oak or mahogany.
I've never heard it. I've never heard that word pronounced.
No, it's pronounced wainscoting.
Ah, thank you. Wainscoting. Okay. I don't. What is that?
It's like the it's sort of like like the sideboard of a wall that sort of goes up to like waist height. I mean, if you Google it, it shows all sorts of wonderful examples.
All right.
Delightful.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have known either. I've never heard of that word myself.
Smack in the middle of the room is a massive, puffy leather recliner sofa chair with almost an irritatingly adorable and very short 5'2" youngish looking man, Thomas Royloop, unassumingly cute, like a Mo Shota from
Moe Shota.
Okay. So, sorry, I'm not up on my Japanese.
Oh, okay.
I
don't speak Japanese.
Nani?
I don't speak Russian.
Japanese. Muku. He doesn't bother, or he doesn't look like he's some great writer. He just looks like a kind of rich, weirdish, shut-in slob. The recliner practically dwarfs him, like it's a gigantic chair bed, smattered with pillows and blankets. One fat pillow against his lower back, with the sides sticking out. He has been small, fluffy blanket over his legs, but with his one cute feet sticking out. Send feet pics. Onto the footrest, another small blanket over one of his shoulders, another spare fluffy blanket just laying out over the back of one chair to one side, a smallish pillow under one of his arms just to let his arm rest on it. The recliner is flanked with two matching dark oak tables with fancy engraving like you'd seen at a fancy restaurant. A table on his left, our right, features a large ice bucket with 2-liter bottle of cheap strawberry soda sticking out. Jesus Christ. A big fat strawberry visible on the label, probably a plain white label since that's the universal sign of a cheap soda. And the table on his right, our left, of course.
Now I know how to do it. Now I know how it's done.
What?
See, now we have the example of how to draw cheap food.
Yeah, that's what cheap food looks like. It's a white label with just a picture of a thing on it.
Yeah. Has a dock to charge his controller, as well as about 8 different controllers, some wireless, some with food, or some with wires running down the table towards the TV, a TV remote, an internet comm buzzer, another phone on a charging dock. He's wearing a gold trim and red velvet bathrobe, which is slightly open in the front, but not enough to see his adorable fucking cock. His hair somewhat scruffed out, in an adorable way, of course, as if he just woke up in the chair and stayed in it all night. The glow of an unseen gargantuan TV is lighting him up as he stares at it blearily. Stares at it blearily, whatever. I was feeling it, all right. At it blearily, he's. I'm about to tap out, man. This
I know it's a long paragraph, but it's all of its very necessary details.
Okay, all right. He's holding a wireless Steam controller in his hands, playing some video game. In the background is Clarence leaning in from the doorless
Charlene.
Clarence.
Clarence.
Charlene, to say something to Thomas. The TV continues, faintly going from within the kitchen. Wow. Okay. Male presenter, go ahead.
It's accepting the award in his place.
Who's going to be Charlene?
I think I was going to be.
Or wasn't it going to be Vicky?
Let's have
Hold on.
Vicky.
Did Vicky ever come in? No, Vicky did not ever come in. So then, why doesn't Mecca McCheese do it?
Yes, since he did it last time.
Mr. Roy Loop, you won the Best Adapted Story Oscar.
Cool, nice.
Page 2.
He doesn't seem to worry. He doesn't seem to care that much about winning an Oscar.
I don't know.
Large panel. The TV in front of him. Oh, hold on. He doesn't seem to care that much. Oh, okay.
I was just remarking.
Yeah.
You would think if you won an Oscar award, you would care a little more.
I understand. All right. Large panel. The TV in front of him and a hint. Or large panel. The TV in front of him and a hint of the top of his chair. The TV is easily 200 inches, slightly curved to surround him better. On the screen is a
Metroidvania. You don't know what a Metroidvania is?
No, Metroidvania type game.
It's a combination of Metroid and Castlevania.
It's like one of those games you get in the car, then you drive around or something.
No, like Metroidvania.
Starring Laylee, a tall brown woman with long hair, wearing a skin-tight pelt quilt bodysuit. She's being attacked by a tentacle monster that's ripping her suit open, and Laylee's big tits are bouncing out, with another large green veiny tentacle stuffing itself into her mouth, with a splatter of clear goo squirting out her eye. The upper portion of the screen also shows a health bar, money, some inventory icons such as 12 bullets, 4 Molotovs, and then a small grid-like 4-color mini-map in the upper right, like Super Metroid, and Smug Meter that's partially filled up. Panel 2, a small close-up on Thomas. He looks a bit annoyed, and an adorable Moe, as he casually curses at the game.
Fuck.
Panel 3, medium view of Charlene and Thomas. Charlene is still much further behind him by the doorway to the kitchen.
Why don't you use one of them Molotovs? You've got 4 of them.
I was saving them for later. Shit. Sigh. He just won an Oscar.
Page 2.
Just won an Oscar for best screenplay.
Panel 3, same view. Charlene leaned in a bit more.
You should close your robe too.
Why, are you coming in here?
No.
Well, I don't gotta.
Page, Jesus Christ, man, that is so many words.
Yeah. There's even more.
I thought you wanted more explanation, more descriptive explanation of the
We're
panels.
just getting warmed up.
I
maybe somebody else should have done the narration, but I don't like I didn't want to read all this stuff. This is way too much for me to read.
Yeah, this is way too much.
My throat hurts already.
Yeah, my throat hurts just thinking about reading this. I'm not going to do that. I could read it if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And I can still be Thomas. You can be who's the
I'll be male presenter there.
Oh well, he's over though. But
damn,
you can be Ricard. He shows up in a little bit.
All right.
Okay. Panel 1.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, you need to seriously take down the amount of description. Like, you need like 30% of the description.
It pairs down a lot later. It's just the opening pages have a lot of description to set up the environment. Because I wanted to look like sort of rich. Like
you have to understand when all of this stuff is splattered in blood, you need to know how it looked before it got that way.
Yeah, exactly. All right, panel 1. It's the next morning, and we see the point of view from across the empty giant recliner to the bed by the window. Sunlight is coming through, glowing the rest of the room orange. Thomas lays on the bed, using it for the first time in a while, still wearing that same robe with his arms and bare legs wrapped around a hug pillow. The pillowcase shows an anime girl who looks like she's shocked and crying as her clothing is being shredded off by force, revealing her naked body. Thomas's eyes are opening slowly, looking weary. A digital clock on the table at the foot of the bed says 11:47, waking up at the crack of noon. SFX Thomas. Panel 2, Thomas lurching from the bed towards the recliner, his robe perhaps mercifully closed at the waist as he slaps a button on the intercom that just buzzes, and his other hand picks up the Steam controller to turn his TV and computer on. SFX intercom. Panel 3. He's sitting on the recliner now, not playing a game, but just using one hand to lazily scroll through his computer with the Steam controller, that the screen itself is most likely unseen in this panel. As Charlene appears from the kitchen, carrying a silver tray that has an elaborate array of 7 cups of blueberry yogurt, each surrounded by a mess of ice cubes. One of the yogurt cups is already open with a dessert spoon sticking out of the top. Definitely an extremely specific breakfast ritual that Thomas has had long ago established, and they've both settled into by this point. Charlene is going to the side table on Thomas's left, our right, which is empty and clearly exists just to hold the trays for his food. Charlene also speaks up as she delivers the breakfast.
Who's Charlene?
Me. Sorry. Richard is coming over later to drop off your Oscar, probably around 3 or 4. So you got a couple hours.
Okay, guess I'll get dressed in a few minutes. And then panel 4, the giant TV as it shows his computer on some social media site like Twitter, full of messages that he's scrolling through. A couple messages scrolling past. At XX male person guy 430. You want an Oscar? Fucking sweet, I'm a huge fan. At borderline personality thought. I loved your movie. Can you give me an RT to get my sick dog some help if you don't fuck you? At Cats and Wine, wish you were at the show, would have loved to see you on TV. Thomas looking bored as he keeps flicking his thumb against the touchpad on the Steam controller. Panel 6, another couple of messages more zoomed in. At Repulsive Anteater, congrats, man. At QS551CF, we're coming to kill you. Panel 7, a few more messages. At Lanternade, grats on the win, dude. They gonna mail your Oscar. At 11 Saladin, we found you now. You will pay Deceiver. At Tim N2424, I have found your address and sent Anthrax to your home. At Wade008, I bet the Academy didn't know you were on the SPLC hate list. Let's see what happens to your Oscar when they're made aware of this little fact. Panel 8, Tom is sitting there with a One Punch Man, okay, bored face, business as usual for him. Page 4, panel 1. Thomas looks over on his right table to where his cell phone is docked, but the furthest edge of the table away from his reach. Panel 2, he reaches over, his cute little arm stretching towards it, but it can't reach. He's just too shrimpy and cute, and the phone dock is out of reach. Panel 3, Thomas gives up and goes back to sitting and looking at the TV. Panel 4, Charlene enters to pick up the tray of expended yogurt cups on the food table as she asks him something. He keeps looking at the screen, still casually scrolling as he answers.
Need anything else, Mr. O'Reilly?
Yeah, I was thinking I should get the phone, maybe call the police about these death threats.
Anything different about them?
Sorta. There is this one. Hold on. Panel 5, he scrolls up to check the previous messages again from off panel. He voices his confusion. Cats and Wine, wish you were at the show. By Zuo 2008. To all trash pitbull praising at Thomas Royloop. This was from before I registered the Twitter account myself, by the way. Tonight, he is a fucking garbage misogynist, homophobic, Islamophobic, vitriophobic fucking piece of shit, fucking shit. Not like I even care about him. It's funny to me what a pathetic little fuck shit he is. Several laughing so hard they're crying emojis. Male person guy, you won an Oscar, fucking sweet. Repulsive Anteater, congrats, man. Lanternade, blah, blah. Thomas off panel, what in the fuck? It was right here. The site is a big fat mess. Panel 6, Thomas just sitting there, his open. What?
What?
Right? Oh, never mind. Thomas just sitting there, his robe open somewhat as he looks a little annoyed. But he doesn't care much at this point. He's been dealing with these for a while now. Charlene is holding the tray up with one hand. Whatever, I'll screen cap him if I see him again.
All right, Mr. Roylip. Your fans seem happy about your win, at least.
They're just fans of the Oscar bait movie. Most of them don't read my other stuff.
You mean the stuff you're getting death threats over?
Yeah. Page 5, panel 1, Charlene smirks, being a little sassy.
How do you know they're not your real fans? You don't want to sound ungrateful, do you? And by the way, you should close your robe, sir. Your little Oscar looks cold.
Panel 2, Thomas looks down and realizes that his dick is out. Not seen here, just revealed with his robe being open. He panics cutely and shoves his hand down to cover it before pulling one side of his robe over his groin. Charlene is somewhat amused. Thomas, oh fuck, I forgot. God, I'm really sorry. I don't mean to be like this all the time. Hope you're not going to do a Me Too thing.
Don't worry, Mr. Roylip. I've been working for you for over a year. I understand what you like. It's fine.
Panel 3, he looks up at her, looking contrite and as cute as ever, if such a thing is even possible for him, considering how adora kawaii he is 24/7, 365. I hope I'm not underpaying you for what you have to put up with, with me. Panel 4, Charlene looks perfectly polite.
Trust me, I've seen worse.
Panel 5, Charlene returning towards the kitchen.
Besides, you pay me too well to report you.
Panel 6, Charlene turning back one more time. Thomas responds, though mostly to himself.
But don't get any ideas about what I'd do for more pay.
Thomas saying, well, I wouldn't cheat on Kristen. Guess I should put on clothes if Ricard's coming over. Page 6, panel 1. Large exterior panel of a singular brownstone type building that takes up a whole block, though not quite New York City sized block. This is more Midwest, so we can see a metropolitan area surrounding, but not a gargantuan city sprawl. Luxury cars parked alongside the street towards the front door. As it turns out, this building has only one main entrance, a double glass door at the top of a somewhat small set of stairs. We see Ricard exiting this car. He's tall and elegant, light hair slicked back, carrying a medium-sized box under one arm that contains the Oscar statuette. This panel is mostly for establishing the building that Thomas lives in. It should be at least 4 stories, a little elegant, but clearly lonely for just the 2 occupants to live in. Panel 2, perhaps a view from the street. Ricard walking into the front doors that go into the small interior lobby, which is unfurnished, containing only a few doorways, an elevator, and an open stairwell next to the elevator. The stairwell exposed to the lobby, not behind a door or anything, just ideally looking somewhat elegant instead of being plain, boring stairs.
All right.
Panel 3.
Going back here, because I know there's like a ton I want to go over, but where this panel is mostly for establishing the building, like you can just cut that. You don't need that in there.
Just dumping the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was a little confused actually about the inside. Like, where exactly is he living? If there's a lobby and an interior doorway and then an elevator, and it's like
he basically owns an apartment complex, but it's just for him.
All right. But yeah. So all right. Continue.
Page 2, perhaps a view from the street. Ricard walking into the front doors that go into the small interior lobby, which is unfurnished. Did I read that? Oh, yeah, I did. Panel 3, Thomas comes through the door into the lobby wearing pajama pants, possibly patterned with a Hegao anime girl faces and some kind of goofy T-shirt.
All right, where are you? Where at? Because I'm at page 6.
I'm at page 6, panel 3.
Panel 3. Okay. So the morally bankrupt.
Yeah. He's wearing a goofy T-shirt that says something ridiculous like morally bankrupt on it, and also wearing pink bunny slippers on his feet. Ricard greets him. Ricard is about 6 feet tall compared to Thomas's shrimpy AF 5'2", so Ricard easily towers over Thomas.
Who's Ricard?
Who's Ricard?
Thomas,
I think you
look about the same.
Yeah, sometimes I feel it too. Panel 4, Ricard smirks, continuing.
Right. Your publisher says you can take the week off to celebrate, but they're still hoping to see a draft of something new before the quarter's up.
Ah, fuck. Don't tell him I haven't written anything yet. Panel 5, Ricard just feels some pity for his client.
Sorry, I know you're going through some rough things, but you're still under contract. I'm sure you have 2 more books in you somewhere. Mayhaps the situation in your life can lead to inspiration.
Page 7, panel 1, Ricard handing over the box, Thomas taking it. Thomas says, not so far. Anyway, gimme. No clue what I'll do with this. There's no fireplace here, but I guess I can just cram it onto a bookshelf. Panel 2, they talk as Thomas holds the box under one arm. Thomas seems a bit concerned as he looks up at the taller Ricard.
By the way, Mark Ruffalo is supposed to come over later today. He wanted to congratulate you in person.
What? How does he know where I live?
I told him.
Why? Panel 3, Ricard explains.
He won the Best Actor, in the movie you wrote. He just wants to stop by, be nice, and play along, all right? This helps your career, tracking famous people into thinking you're nice, or tricking, yeah.
Yeah, tricking. Thomas says, fine, whatever. This really blows my day. Tomorrow I'm going to be extra lazy and playing even more video games and jacking off just to make up for this. Panel 4, Ricard looking a bit smooth and cool.
How are you holding up otherwise? Life in exile isn't too rough on you.
I live in my own apartment complex mansion thing with a maid. Actually, it's all right, I guess. I'm fine. I'm not really happy about you giving my address away, though. Those people who want me dead aren't joking. I mean, if they were joking, I can't take that chance anyway. But you saw how those Antifada guys are with writers and artists and whatever. They either think I'm a dirty infidel or I'm some kind of Nazi for being a dirty infidel that doesn't sort my recycling. Panel 5, Ricard walking away but being legitimately sympathetic.
Well, and making fun of them in a book, but I know what you mean. Just try to relax and enjoy yourself. You earned it.
Panel 6, Thomas from further away as Ricard leaves. And Thomas says, yeah, I guess. Page 8, panel 1, Thomas in his TV room again as he casually takes the Oscar out of the box, thumping the Oscar itself onto the side table that has the remote and game controllers, while casually throwing the box over onto the bed against his hug pillow to be thrown away later. Panel 2, Thomas inside a large dressing room, putting on actual dress clothes, a button-up white shirt, and a suit jacket, though nothing too formal, just casual. Charlene comes in through the doorway to ask him,
Have you eaten since lunch?
Thomas says, I had a half box of cheddar snaps.
That's a snack. That's not food.
Thomas says, it's food if you eat enough of it. I mean, I guess I'm hungry. Could you make me a salad with some bacon? And I want the bacon well done. I don't like bacon that's too soft. I want it crunchy, though not Elvis levels of burnt. She's a bacon diva. Panel 3, Thomas continuing as Charlene peeks her head into the doorway with a smirk. And can you replace the batteries on my controller? They're drained again. And throw that Oscar box away. It's on my bed.
Ooh, yes, massa.
Panel 4, Thomas looking stone-faced as Charlene smirks casually. What? Oh my god, you shouldn't be allowed to say that. I should dock your pay.
You better not. Front door is ringing, by the way.
From inside the bare lobby, seeing outside, Mark Ruffalo pushing a doorbell next to the double doors. Thomas is already approaching from the stairwell, which is perhaps where we're seeing this. Hey, Mark, come on in. Who voices Mark again?
I'm going to do it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Panel 1, Mark pushes the double doors open. Panel 2, as Mark is still coming through the doors, Muslim terrorists wearing ski masks rush in from the sides. One immediately points a sawed-off shotgun to the back of Mark Ruffalo's head and blows the entire top of his head apart, leaving just his jaw. Panel 3, Thomas at the very last step of the stairwell, recoiling. Whoa. Panel 4, Mark Ruffalo, or what's left of him, as his body staggers around, just a jaw and tongue flapping around blood splattering up in the air like some kind of Mortal Kombat fatality. The Jax one from Mortal Kombat X specifically is what I had in mind. Not exactly like that, just similar to it.
So I just want to, like, just example here. You could just write similar to the Jax fatality from Mortal Kombat X, boom, and say that in like 10 words as opposed to 20.
That's true. I could shorten that down.
Yeah,
maybe.
I feel like a lot of these big descriptive paragraphs could be cut in half and not lose any information.
It's like they're almost written for the enjoyment of somebody listening to a reading and not an artist.
Exactly. Yeah.
I may not even be for the enjoyment of the listening either.
Not even.
Yeah.
It's for literally no one.
Well, no, I mean it is part of the craft of writing to seek to deliver in the fewest possible words the most effective message.
There's a few points to the descriptiveness in the beginning though, because I wanted the artist to have a good understanding of how I would draw this.
Anyway, I just wanted to call attention that this the descriptional clause could be 10 words.
Yeah, brevity is the soul of wit.
Yeah, that's true. I also, and I did know that the first paragraph is really, really long. It's like painfully long. Anyways, panel 5, Mark's body staggering into the lobby still as Thomas starts to rush up the stairs. Thomas, scratchy text. Oh, fuck, shit, fuck, shit, God, fuck, run.
Page 10, panel 1. Thomas runs from the kitchen.
You're reading now? It's
yes.
The last page, though.
Because this page seems mercifully brief.
Well, the rest of them are.
Excellent.
Suited for our host.
Yes. Yeah. This is what I want to read. I don't want to read like 400 word
Preston?
pages. What?
You guys should be paying.
Yeah.
Do you want to read our script? That'll be $2.
$2.
Thomas runs from the kitchen to the study TV room, but it's empty.
Charlene.
Thomas rushing into the laundry room where Charlene is. She looks somewhat concerned.
Something the matter, Mr. Roylop?
Thomas trying to push his hands on her back as he's trying to get her physically move, but she outsizes and outweighs him so much that she doesn't even budge. She looks mildly surprised here, though keeping calm.
Guns with guys. They're killing. Go run upstairs.
Okay.
Panel 5. The terrorists spread out, one taking the stairwell, another taking on an elevator, another kicking in a doorway that leads further into the apartment. Mark Ruffalo's headless body continues staggering somehow. Terrorist guy.
I'll be terrorist guy. Break down.
I could be the terrorist guy.
Okay, you do that then.
Okay, break all the doors down. Don't let them hide.
Panel 6. Mark Ruffalo's body finally thuds to the ground. Panel 7. Exterior. Out front, Antifa members in black and red handkerchief masks begin taking places surrounding the building. The Antifa guy looks specifically different from the jihadi assassins inside. They are overtly white, pale mayonnaise white, and wearing the handkerchiefs. An Antifa guy with a bullhorn just yells through the bullhorn at no one in particular.
Oh, should I do that Antifa guy also? This is a fascist securement protest. Yeah. We have discovered an admitted fascist hiding among you, and we are isolating him. Do not interfere, or you will be viewed as allying with the fascist.
All right, 10 pages.
This is very 2018.
Whew.
Yeah, this one's a bit longer than usual.
Yeah, well, right. But it's okay. We made it.
The following 10 pages are so much shorter and easier to read. Maybe we could have just read that instead.
We made it. We survived. Yeah, we
survived.
All right, I guess I'll start. So for positives, it's cute. I mean, you've got a lot of fun moments in there. I mean, like Thomas is a fun character. And like you're introducing these kind of zany situations.
It's a lot of setup, though. But
yeah. So, but there's certainly a payoff there. They're the moments where it's good. I think it's very good.
Yeah, if people want to know the payoff, by the way, it's on our channel. If you look up Safe Space comic script reading, probably just on YouTube in general, but on SWC Revived, it's back in I think mid 2018 is when the video is. So it's pretty far down in our channel.
So that's positive for me. Mecca.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. There's some interesting stuff going on there for sure. It was just so long. I'm having trouble being positive about it, but it got quite a few laughs out of me. Definitely.
Yeah, the script part is definitely like in a comic, it would read so much more swiftly because the details would just be visual, and you wouldn't even have to.
The power of a comic.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
With the right art style, this would really pop, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, is that kind of right art style that would capture the backgrounds really nicely detailed when they need to be. I want it elaborate looking.
It's going to cost $1 million to make
this comic's going to be $1 million to make. It's going to take 12 years to make.
At least $1 billion. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. There's something going on here for sure.
But it will make 20 million. I'm sure of that.
I can guarantee it.
I can't wait to get the Thomas Roy Loop coins after.
Yeah,
Thomas Roy Loop cryptocurrency backed by actual $half.
Wolf King coins. That's what they'll be.
The Roy coins.
Coiloons.
Yeah, that was neat.
Coiloons.
Coin ops.
I already basically know what my brother thinks about this because we all read it together a couple of years ago.
Well, I think the power of this over, say, my story is that this shows our sense of humor more. It's one of our strengths, our real strength of a lot of our writing.
I kind of think when you're trying to do your first comic, it's got to have a really strong control of the strength of your tone. When you want to make a specific kind of comic, because me and you had been making little goofy fun comics for many, many years. And
we
so
have some
of
our own web comics. We've done web comics and we can't even share them because you accidentally printed your real name on them.
Well, no, I didn't. I didn't put my real name on any of them. It's just that, there's no place to host them anymore.
Well,
they're very rudimentary, but
they're still more enjoyable than anything else that's ever come out.
The control of the tone, going for the tone that we want to go with, it's we wouldn't want to start with something really depressing as the first one. It's you got to kind of sell fun first, and then you can move on to depressing afterwards sometimes.
I mean, I think I did a good job with mine. Mine definitely needs to be forged a lot more.
It depends on the creator too.
The power of a lot of our writing tends to be that it's more fun, and also this is very grounded. There's no sci-fi. There's no superheroes in this. It's it could be real world.
All right,
a little bit tongue in cheek.
Mecca, constructives.
That big paragraph that was so daunting to Preston. I don't know. I guess you probably planned it as a double page splash, maybe.
No, it's just a large panel that just has a lot of details in it.
Yeah,
single whole page.
It's not meant to be. It's panel. It's panel 3.
It's panel 3. Yeah.
Oh, good God!
It's not meant to have extremely noticeable detail. It's just meant to show the clutter of a guy who lives in one room.
Yeah, it's supposed to be for the artist's benefit more than anyone else's. That's what I figured. But
I could cut all the detail, but then the artist would still have to add all the detail that I cut. Every single thing I cut out of the detail of that description, the artist would still have to put in anyways.
Yeah, the thing about describing, I remember in the previous comic reading by Nice Mod, it's because he's a writer, the mug of pens. I fixated on mug of pens because you're really selling this whole idea that he's a slob who works out of a single room.
Yeah, just the one same room, and it's his TV room, it's his bedroom, and it's his dining room all at the same time. But then it's got, bookshelves and all that kind of crap. And then, everything and his basically his pillow throne. It's sort of like it's like a Game of Thrones throne, except instead of spikes and swords, it's pillows and blankets, just
Pillows and pillows.
pillows. Yeah,
So
everywhere.
many pillows. It's pillows.
So that's why all the details mooshed into this one panel. But after that, it's like the artist, has a visual of what the entire
I did.
what the entire room is supposed to look like.
One of the things that I do wonder though is like how fast a reader's probably going to be skimming over like tweets that are on the screen that he's observing, because that's actually a big part of the foreshadowing is when he's getting death threats, and he just blows them off. But it turns to be a pretty important part of the story when actual terrorists show up at his front door.
Yeah, it's like that. It's the establishment that his life is supposed to actually be under threat. But the thing is, those panels focus on the tweets exclusively. So I think in order to skip over them, you'd have to skip over a panel.
Yeah, they'd have to though. Otherwise, if you just skimmed over them, you might miss that entire. And it's also some of the funniest stuff is just the goofy ass tweets from all these.
Yeah,
people.
that was my
Archie, to
favorite
get my
part.
sick dog help
I
if you
really
don't
like
fuck
that.
you.
Yeah.
Why blueberry yogurt though?
It's just one of those self-insert
See,
kind of
food
things.
humor. No food humor.
Well, I gotta say, like you're going very it's you're putting yourself out there by making a comic about you, where you're like a self-insert in this zany world. I mean, that's so some people are gonna.
But it's not fully self-insert because I'm not
Okay.
rich, of course.
Technically, so.
I don't have.
Yeah, well, a Mary Sue self-insert.
Yeah, Mary Sue
I like how you said
self-insert.
that before the Oscar for your writing.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, he won an Oscar.
Yeah.
He's an Oscar award winner.
Who lives in his own personal apartment complex.
And he likes
makes
blueberry
a lot.
yogurt.
Yeah, he likes blueberry yogurt just because the thing is, strawberry yogurt has too many seeds.
By the way, we have a note. The relationship between Thomas and the maid was cute.
Yeah, that's something I was going for. I really wanted to have like a
and by the way, she also has a note that you shouldn't be head of celebrity. I learned that from the Solo comic.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
Well,
does that happen in the Solo comic?
Well, Harrison Ford gets killed
Ford dies.
in stealing Solo.
Well, what the fuck? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard for a comic. Who would make a comic where you steal the likeness of an actual real life celebrity and
But
the
here's
whole
the thing.
point is to glorify them and then you kill them anyway?
Yes.
But I mean, I learned from South Park that you can still technically do. I was gonna have it somebody like Sean Penn, and I was like, oh, that's right, they already did that in Team America, where Kim Jong Il's Panthers rip Sean Penn's head off, which is one of my favorite things ever. But it was like I can't do that exact thing, and I thought of it. Mark Ruffalo was just the first person who came up, and I know it could be just nobody. It could be a fake celebrity, but just the fact that
that can be changed. In fact, even the main character's name and personality, or well, not the personality, but the appearance and stuff like that can be changed. It doesn't even have to be Thomas.
anything could be changed. Although it's probably because I'm not Thomas. Thomas is just this character that I made, and I just happened to name my Twitter account after him because I couldn't think of anything else. And I was like, oh no, now I'm stuck with this. But now I'm stuck being Thomas. It's like the fucking self-insert Mary Sue has looped back into myself. I didn't want it.
People are looking for that.
God,
People are
this
actually.
is like that theological argument for God, where it's like, was the most perfect? A proof of God is to say what is the most perfect idea of God that could exist, and then could that idea be made even greater if God did exist? And if the answer is yes, then God must exist.
Yes.
And there you have proven God. It's called like the teleological thing. So here we have the teleological Thomas. Like he conceived of a better version of himself, wrote that as a character, and then the character took over his life.
Yeah. The character is shorter than I am in real life.
The real, true, actual better part is just the success, the actual financial success. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that's different is actual money.
There's a few other stark differences. I don't have a sex doll named Kristen in a secret panic room, love shack room. There's some other differences. Like I don't have a hug pillow with an anime girl on it because I personally don't believe in doing that. I would not do that at all. The thing is, Thomas would, because who's supposed to even be coming over? Nobody's supposed to be coming over, and at this point, nobody can judge him. He's an Oscar award winner. You see, nobody can judge him. So there's different touches.
He is the king of the world.
Yes, Thomas has his own unique aspects. So certainly depending on the story too, because he's in a few different stories where he actually kind of has a different personality in each individual story. Like the original story, he was sort of more similar to my brother's story, where he's kind of cast out into a world like raised by wolves, metaphorically and literally. Well,
in a way, literally, but also literally.
Yes. But and so he's more timid in that story, whereas in this he's sort of more self-important, I guess. And then in a newer story that I'm writing, he's sort of a hunter medic who is used to living out in the wilderness. He's like sort of a wilderness living Western
So
guy.
he says all
Well,
Oscar award
I think-
winners on Bobby Fellow.
I
So
think
there's
you
all
know
these approaches.
that the feedback is going to be, gosh, it would be great if you could make it a little shorter. But if you're
Yeah.
saying no, it's got to be how it is. Okay, I'm going to take your word. But
The story itself, like if you read it as a comic, it would be very short.
Okay.
It's not going to be
I mean, I could
that dragged out.
I could see the phrasing using some pruning so that the artist
Yeah.
doesn't get too
Yeah.
overwhelmed or confused.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got to go look up Mortal Kombat X. Jax
Yeah, make sure you go Google or check YouTube.
No,
for
you
Mortal
don't have to do
Kombat
that at
video.
all, because if you watch our live read of it, I included the clip of that
Oh.
exact fatality.
Oh, helpful. Which one? Is it?
Yeah.
What does he? Is he
Well,
the guy?
then,
It's the
you
Jack
know
one.
what I would do in that case is I would take that fatality and I would make it an unlisted video on your channel,
I just linked to it.
and then just put the link to it
Mhm.
in the script so that the
Yeah.
artist can just type it in, look at it, and go, "Oh, that." Yeah. So,
Yeah.
That's actually
Yeah, a short video.
You know what? I'll do that when I plan to make this comic. So 7 minutes from never.
okay.
7 minutes after the Earth falls into the sun.
I mean, maybe in the future though I would do that, and I would definitely go try and clip a video of that or something, and be like,
All right.
here you go. This is what I'm talking about.
Fair enough.
I noticed that you do that in your scripts, where you'll like link to the tarot cards and that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that's actually the thing I was thinking specifically. Put URL right in the thing, and it should be a still image is better than a video, actually.
Yeah,
Mhm.
although in this case, it's like I don't think it would be too much of a problem, at least. So that's good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Like when I was writing Guinevere and the Divinity Factory 1, have you guys read that, right?
I haven't read a
Okay.
bunch of comics.
I
I only just finished catching up with Stravaganza.
Okay.
Strange.
That's a shame.
I read the first issue though. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a big Gatsby party.
Mhm.
And there's this dance floor that she comes out onto to meet Gatsby, and in the script I write it that I want it to feel like the club scene from Basic Instinct,
Mhm.
Mm.
because that was the hottest damn club scene, man. I love that thing. Like, I
I'm
want to
not-
go to that club. That club was cool.
I have not seen that movie.
One that's
Yeah.
like looks like it's professionally directed by a film director.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's what I wish nightclubs were, and they're never quite like that.
Who directed that? That wasn't.
That was Verhoeven.
Oh, I was going to say that's not the director of RoboCop, is it?
That absolutely
Yes,
is the
it
director
is.
of RoboCop. Yes,
Oh.
That's right. He did that right after RoboCop.
he did that, and he did Starship Troopers.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Doing my part. So.
Would you like to know more?
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
would.
click here to know.
I'd
more.
like to know.
I still prefer RoboCop above all of that. And
Actually-
he also did Showgirls.
Yeah, that's right. Showgirls was kind of his last thing. Well, I mean, not his actual last movie, but for some reason,
The end of his career.
unfortunately, because I mean, he's clearly a very good director.
He clearly knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he has a real sense of style, like going way over the top with style too. He
Which RoboCop definitely benefited from.
I think Showgirls benefited from that too, to be honest.
If Showgirls could end that,
What other movie has
Showgirls,
PG rated?
that great masterpiece.
Yes,
the masterpiece,
classic
his
masterwork.
magnum opus. It's like a 3-hour-long movie too.
Yeah, it
So-
was. It actually was supposed to be a magnum opus.
Why was Showgirls so bad, do you think?
Not enough
bad?
people being thrown through glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, not enough people being stabbed in the neck with spikes.
I did like the part where she gets punched in the stomach so hard she vomits.
Yeah.
But then she starts making out with the other girl after. Who
Honestly, I
By the
mean,
way-
if
by the
you
way, I don't want to toot my own horn real quick, but
Oh.
I think those are the notes on the script. But I did want to ask, did you guys see my my Indiegogo?
Oh, you mean the one that like had a giant like $1,000 bump in one
Yeah,
day?
it had like $1,000 day.
I saw that. I checked out the Indiegogo, and it's like, I mean, just looking at the covers that are on there, it's like, yeah, I can imagine this getting a lot of heat. I don't know why it doesn't have more, but just the fact that
very
you don't have a
expertly
cult,
chosen
you don't have a
covers.
cult of groupthink.
I mean, look at this. Hold on. Like, check this stuff out.
I'd rather,
check it out?
I would rather earn this stuff
Yes.
legitimately.
Yeah. Are you going, Mecca?
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying you had to go.
Oh, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm still here.
All right, cool.
It's been almost 2 hours. I know we're not supposed to go on for that long.
Right. Yes. Did you want to go?
I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I have to go to work
Alright.
in like 15 minutes.
Okay.
but,
Then
yeah.
I will bid everyone good night.
I was
Council
gonna
is
say, were we going to wrap up with a look at the campaign?
We were, yeah.
All right.
And we could do that real quick, can't we?
Let's do that.
Okay. All
Just
right,
for
sure.
5 minutes is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna say we should plug our campaign. Oh, I don't have one. But the I mean I'll plug if anyone wants to go on Comixology and look up literally #1 that's on sale right now.
These are such smartly chosen covers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially like a girl being forced to grovel before Demon Girl.
Exactly.
Demon
So
Girl.
that is the main cover there. Oh, okay. Oh, so you like the left one most?
I like
Actually,
the middle one.
I like the middle and the right ones more. What is White Widow?
Yeah, this is not Guinevere.
This is all right. Well, and it's weird. I've never done a campaign like this before,
Mhm.
but I'm like, holy shit! I think I accidentally discovered something, and that's that people on Indiegogo, like White Widow. White Widow did okay over there, but it only got put up there once back in like 2000. I want to say like 19-ish. So like mid 2019. So it's been a while since there's been any White Widow being offered at all. Like they just focused on Kickstarter for,
And they didn't have this cover, did they?
and they didn't have that cover. So that's my exclusive cover.
This
A
extra
White Widow
spicy cover too.
Yeah.
I like it.
And I loved it so much. I'm like, I want that turned into the Guinevere, chains one that you guys have also probably seen.
Mhm.
And then I wanted to do the lenticular. So then the one on the left is like breaking free, where she's like, kind of broken out of the chains or whatever.
Are you doing a lenticular cover too?
Yeah, I want to do a lenticular cover eventually as well. So
Oh, eventually? Okay. I was
Yeah.
wondering.
Yeah, I can imagine that would work out quite well.
Yeah.
I also like clothing destruction.
right.
Clothing
So
destruction is always-
I like to see the destruction of women.
So I'm offering my covers of White Widow and my book, and I'm offering them at like $25 each because it's a limited print run. Like I printed 150 of the one on the left and only 500 of one on the middle. And
Super elite limited edition. Actually limited edition.
Yeah, that's
instead of just saying it's a limited edition.
yeah. And look, I'm not saying you should buy it, but I am saying,
Why wouldn't you?
why wouldn't you?
The choice is yours.
Right. I mean, like it's kind of cool. I mean, maybe you won't be able to sell it to anybody for anything, but I think it's kind of cool to be able to say, I have this awesome covered comic book, and it's only one of 500 that were ever printed. I mean, that's kind of neat, So
I think it's definitely going to get some people's attention. I like her hair. Wait, is that a weird statement?
No?
I like her hair.
I like her shoes. Oh wait, is that weird?
Wait.
Yeah. So yeah,
It's an interesting composition. It's
and
clearly,
and the other thing is people were seeing this for like the first time, and they were like, "Wow, I want to get issue 4. Okay, where can I get the other 3?" And I'm like, "Oh wait!"
Yeah.
And so I started making those add-ons into my campaign. So now people are just coming and getting all these crazy White Widow covers, and like my numbers are going way up. And I'm
just getting the big
money.
full collection and
Yeah,
stuff.
good way
Yeah.
to actually help people like discover the rest of the story.
Yeah,
Because even in like an actual comic store, if you're catching on, if you're jumping in on issue 4, it's like, where's the others? Oh, they all got bought, and it's like, well, how do I
For
get
that back
them?
issue. Well, you can order them in back issue, and they'll
Yeah.
be here in about 6 to 18 weeks.
6 to 18 weeks.
yeah.
And it's like, having them, just ordering them over like a crowdfund, being like, okay, here's all the issues in the same bundle.
And now I'm closing in on like $1,300 after like 2 days, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I'm blowing door. I'm like, people are coming and they're buying my White Widow cover, and while they're on the way out, they're gonna buy 2 or 3 other expensive White Widow covers, and they're gonna end up for like $150 backer ticket. And I'm like, holy shit! Right?
And that's $150 of actual comics, not $150 of like worthless merch and crap. That's like, here's a here's a $50 sticker. Yeah,
right. Exactly. Yeah.
Here's a $50 piece.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, and these variant covers, they have prices as established by the manufacturer. So, if they took those to a comic book store, the comic book store, would at least have a, feel that they were kind of valuable. Like with my
actual
local
rarity, something they
Yeah.
can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, like with my local comic book store, when I started repping for Absolute, there were some covers that only I had because he didn't sell them through Diamond, and that my comic book store would buy for me, like that cover right there, for instance. They would be like, "Oh yeah, I can definitely move that here." And so if it's a price point that they can pass along to their customers, and that's a price point that they'll buy at, and so it's all good, So
Plus, it's all self-made. You didn't have to rely on a cult of like slavishly worshipful, like weird, creepy, mentally ill people
demanding that they fund this thing.
Yeah,
This is
cutting
my
each
project,
other's
yeah.
throats for not plugging you enough. Or
yeah,
something.
like I don't have to sit here and worry about who liked to fucking tweet and
Yeah,
loyal. And,
yeah. Watch out for what tweets you like.
I know it's scary, but I really appreciate you not resorting to the Lisa Frank colors on this.
What do you mean?
What
Which
are
ones are
those?
those?
Oh, Lisa Frank, she used to do those dolphins on the binder things that a lot of the kids would get in like grade school.
Trapper Keepers?
No, yeah, it'd be like a 3-ring binder or something that have like a picture of a dolphin on it swimming around.
Lisa Frank, is that with a C or a K?
And
FRA.
I like the
Okay.
tied up one too. So,
Although the Lisa Frank is
Comicsgate-
very
on
rainbow-based.
Twitter, by the way, Comicsgate was having a conniption over this. I don't know if you saw.
Having a conniption. That's our ground.
No, they're full
Yeah,
on Comicsgate Civil War.
yeah.
Well, I know. I mean, they took time out from their Civil War to go, screw you, Preston. Like someone on.
they're busy turning on John, shaky voice John Malin.
Yeah.
They're going to war with him, and they're like, "Oh wait, hold on a second. Let's
Yeah.
go complain about somebody else who's not even."
They don't do anything else.
Yeah.
That's the
Someone
thing.
on Twitter was like freaking out over this White Widow cover and was like, screw you for, and I had copy pasted my because Indiegogo is all screwed up in its search things. So and I learned this.
Search is the worst.
Yeah, so I learned this trick from John Delarose. So I had this paragraph at the bottom of how does this work compare to, and then you just list, Ethan Van Sciver, Cyberfrog, John Malin's great. Like you list like all the hot books on Indiegogo, and then when anyone, whatever people are going to be searching for, and then when people go to search for that, Icarus and the Sun, for instance, when people go to search for that, your campaign will also come up because it's in your description, which is super dumb, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of hilarious. It's like,
Yeah.
oh no, the competition.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So
No.
I
Down with Kmart.
So I cut and pasted that paragraph from the White Widow one, and it ended with but this comic is a historical one or something, and the guy was freaking out like, huh, so stupid, you cut and pasted and forgot to do. I'm like, you got me, Comicsgate, you got me again. I forgot.
That's the only argument point they can have is like, oh, look at this thing that's next to your thing.
A minor
like,
typo in your information. Oh no, you
Yeah.
got like
I know. I'm like, it's not like I advertised accidentally 99.9% silver coins and then said, oops. But,
and left it there until 2 weeks after the entire campaign was done.
Until stupid trolls, those just silly trolls that don't mean anything, somehow still managed to get Ethan to completely back down on an entire campaign. Whoopsie.
$15,000 refund.
Which is somehow that's also gay ops, is pointing out something that is factually accurate, is somehow gay ops.
Public information.
The truth.
Somehow.
Yeah. Public information and objective truth is gay ops, at least a comics game.
Exactly.
Yes.
If that's gay ops, what the hell is actual private information shared in private DMs? Is that gay ops?
Yes, double gay ops. I don't know. Anyways, all right.
I like this thigh gap. Who drew these covers?
Especially the one on the right.
All right. The one on the right is Mike DeBalfo that Tim Lin used for one of his covers. So
some mighty fine chest meat right there.
Very, very fitting. Yeah. Also, hips to waist ratio, top notch. I gotta say,
perfect.
Yeah. My brother just said thigh gap. She's like sitting down and still has a thigh gap.
Her knees are crossing each other and still has a thigh gap. That's how you know it's a patrician thigh gap.
Yeah, that's completely patrician. She is ready to have children.
Yeah. And the other two were done by Whiskey Paint. He's an artist out of Russia that did the Little Girl Lethal books.
That is cool.
Oh, you're a Russian agent now. You're also a Russian agent now.
Here's what I like is that like Twitter and the internet has such a great avenue to find artists who are really talented and evolving and taking things to the next level, as opposed to artists who are just stuck in the previous eras and aren't capable of growing or evolving or doing anything fresh or new.
Yeah, the previous version of the prose system.
You can see just from like this style and the coloring and stuff that this is very modern. This is modern stuff, and you could tell a kid, the Squiddos, people under 30 basically are going to actually find this more appealing than people who have been drawing cape shit for 30 years or so. People who just are stuck in a boring, bland house style that looks kind of wonky and awkward and bland and has really ugly compositions and
if I saw this cover at the comic store, I would go and try and pick it up. Definitely.
I would assume I would be like, where did this comic come from? This isn't like anything like the other typical your usual comics. This looks more advanced. This looks like something I would see on the internet, and really next level high level shit.
It's above what
I would not expect this to see in a comic store, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm pretty sure. I've never seen this at the local comic store.
Vicky Verse says literally #1 is awesome. Go check it out.
Yeah. There you go.
I'd probably give you my last $72 for this in a second.
But you wouldn't have to, of course, which is certainly better.
I would never backstab you, Preston.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
At least not to
your face. I would never backstab you to your face.
I would only front stab you.
Good news, Mecca. We're not going to cancel you today. So.
You should. You honestly should.
Oh no. Oh no.
Anyway, cool. Well, thanks for your kind words. And I like this campaign should finish like around $2,000 or $3,000 or more. It's going to be my biggest campaign on Indiegogo ever.
It's nice, honest money.
Yeah, it's nice, honest money, and I think that's look, I'm looking over at some Comicsgate campaigns, and I'm like, unless you're really tight in the orbit of Caesar, like you ain't making dick. So
are they really making that money either? Too, I'm not sure.
Well, one thing's for sure is they're not really getting any attention.
It's
all they talk about is the money.
It's very insulated, very enclosed. It's not achieving any escape velocity, and a lot of it looks like it's just money from each other going, towards some of it's not even going towards perks or books. Very suspiciously, somebody did the math. Not just Comic Hut, but somebody else. I think Jim Tooner did the math on some of the other campaigns, and it's like there's a lot of money, thousands of dollars that just aren't even adding up to the perks. It's very strange.
Wow.
That would be worth doing a video just by itself.
Yeah,
but not here. Honestly, I don't even care about that shit. I'm
planning to. We're planning to in the next couple of days.
Yeah, we will. But at the same time, this is the thing I want to make sure not to miss out on was, promoting actual creation.
Actual comics. And I want to say
creation.
The books I do have for White Lily and Guinevere, I am absolutely going to read those someday. Right. I'm going to read all of them. There's so much other stuff. I'm being like, I want to do this and this and this. I want to make sure it's the right time.
I should read Guinevere again.
Yeah, I should watch The Vivitch too. I still haven't done that.
The Vivitch,
and and it felt good to give my printer a call because I'm pretty sure that with this third week of the quarantine, his business has just got to be fucking.
If he's showing up for work, then he's going to be making money.
How come no one else is showing up for?
Yeah,
you called your printer. Is that a long distance call to China?
No, I'm just like, he's over in Fort Worth. I'm like, let's get to making books. Let's do this.
That's the United States of America.
Exactly.
Wow, that must cost thousands of times more than in China, is it? Oh wait, no,
it really.
You're actually helping to give Americans working.
Yeah, you must care about making sure that Americans are doing work.
Yeah.
Why don't other people care about that?
Very pro-America.
Yeah, I really think like this campaign is very. It's very American. It's very, we've got gorgeous, sexy women and printing in the U.S. So here we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's some vitamin D in those milks.
Yes. It's very in favor of
cow.
Mineral rich.
Freedom of speech, liberty, being allowed to say and do the comics you want to do any way you want to do them. It's very American, very free speech, very First Amendment.
We're all about
we're all about that. Yes, we've always been all about that for many years.
American values and definitely not Chinese values.
Yes. Yeah, we're not about Chinese values or Chinese printing. We're about American stuff here.
Chinese gay operations.
Yes.
Yeah, that Comicsgate wanted to say like, this is not Comicsgate, and I'm like,
good.
Okay, well, yes, you are correct, but why? What about this to you specifically violates the Comicsgate Code of Conduct? Are you
you're not allowed to come up with one of those
because it's honest money. That's it's never been that important to me how honest the money was until recently. I never realized just how disgusting other people get.
How grifty and dishonest people can be about making comics and making money in comics is really weird. But yeah, I guess you could say it's more in tune. It's not. It's very much not Comicsgate. I guess you could say it's a little closer to something like Comic Liberty or something.
Mm-hmm.
The original, true down home on the farm, real version of what Comicsgate wished it was.
Down home on the farm, but not the farm where you fuck chickens.
Yes,
superheroes.
None of that chicken fucking shit.
No pizza parlors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I mean, actual real life pizza is good. I like pizza, but I prefer to get the actual pizza from the pizza, not go behind the pizza place for things that aren't pizza.
Yeah, if I'm going to get pizza, first off, no low rent pizza. Secondly, I'm just there for the pizza. Yeah. I'm not going to be blowing a comics pro. Or rather, getting a blowjob.
Okay. Right. Yeah, we should wrap up. That's a good note.
All right, thanks everybody. Next Wednesday we'll have another writers group, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more to talk about.
I'll have something else.
Hopefully, I can deliver something.
Okay. Yeah. Bye. All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.